Right, good evening everybody and a very warm welcome to the very first season on the PC side for International Racing League. And we are following the PSGL PC calendar and they're going to be practicing the PSGL tracks a few days before they race on Thursday. So think of it as a kind of testing ground for them to see what they can improve, ready for if they race in as reserve in the PCF1 tier tomorrow or in their normal tiers on Thursday. So it's a bit of a warm-up for me as well because I commentate on Monday for the PS side. So it's kind of a bit of a warm-up for me as well. But hi everybody. For the next 3 weeks you'll have me in the commentary box. I'm Jess Ball, for those of you that don't know me. You will be joined by someone else after that. I'm not entirely sure who, but we've got to make sure that we've got a stream, so I thought, you know what, I would help out a little bit. Hopefully you guys can hear the stream all right. Please let me know if you can. This is the first time I've streamed on PC on this game, so yes, hopefully it's all good and working hunky-dory. So, first used as a Japanese Grand Prix track, 1962 test track for Japanese manufacturer Honda. And the elevation change is what makes it, Suzuka, a demanding track. And there's not really much overtaking opportunities. You go downhill up to the long first bend, and then you go up the S's, and then you go to the only figure 8 layout on the calendar coming up very soon as well. So lots of intricate parts, I have to say, currently right now. So there's people on laps at the moment. You can see a lot of traffic heading towards 130R. It is a 5.807 kilometre circuit. We're riding on board with Jack Laverty. Most of these drivers do race in PSGL, but there are some other drivers that race in other leagues as well, but still want to get some experience. It is mixed ability as well, so you will see people near the top, but most people are, I think, in the F2, 3, 4, 5 sort of range. So that's what you would expect the ability to be at the moment. So Jack heads towards the Casio triangle then. Flicks the car left and right a little bit there. The only DRS zone on the circuit. So he's going to come up to the line now. And it's going to be a 126.348. The lap record, by the way, was set by Lewis Hamilton at 130.983. That was in the race. Domi comes across the line in P2. Apologies if I get these names wrong, by the way. We have got, I believe, a Williams. No, an Alpine who's about to start his run. A Williams who's about to start his run as well. That's Ivan Santamaria. I again, apologies with names. It's not the ideal situations. But, there we go. So, just to give you the rundown, as Liam Parnell puts himself into pole position. Short qualifying, and then there'll be a normal 50% race. Normal one stop. Pretty much the same as PSGR rules. And it's nice I get to do it a lot earlier than usual, because I usually used to do commentary at 8 o'clock. Pretty much in all leagues. All leagues I commentate on start at 8. So it's good I get to start at 7 for once. I used to do that when I started PSGR. But Oscar Villacamber up next to finish off his lap. Looking tidy for him as Jack West is on pole. Can he go any better? No, he's in fourth position. Now, for most of they're in their PSGL cars. And for some other drivers, they requested to be in a different car. So they are going to choose because Jack West is obviously a reserve. Rishan Jacobs. Where's he gone? Has he retired in the pit lane? He must have. Or he must, or did he bin it on the pit entry? I've got to admit, I've done that quite a few times. I've done that quite a few times, but there we go. But yes, he is not going to be taking part in the rest of qualifying, and he's a man, actually, who's got something to celebrate. He has won, well, he did win, but he got second place in Austria in PCF2 the other day around Austria, which was a great race to watch. As I think Louis has invalidated? Yes, Louis has invalidated. Okay, that explains it. So the first Grand Prix around the Japanese Grand Prix, 1987, Gerhard Berger won in the Ferrari. And we all remember what happened in 1989 with Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna. We don't really want to talk about that, but just to put it into summary, Alain Prost won. They both made contact. And then it was Ayrton Senna that won because obviously he tried to find a way to get back on the circuit and get back in the race, but it wasn't allowed. So he got disqualified. Prost won the championship. The following year, they made contact again. And I think it was turn 1 this time. And then Ayrton Senna won the championship because he got the most points at that point. So hopefully not much controversy as well. As Harlem, he heads towards Dunlop. Oh, he's invalidated as well. I'm quite surprised that there's quite a few invalidations around here, even though there's quite a few people that set lap times already. If I look at the gap between the leader, it's around about 7/10 difference. So, yes, 7/10 difference is the gap. So, there we go. So, the only person in F1 is obviously Liam Parnell in the Red Bull. Obviously, he's a Red Bull esports driver and founder of Parnell Racing. We also got Jack West, who's in F2. Louis Welsh is in F3. Jack Laverty's in F3. There's a few people not here tonight. Thomas Laminen in F3. He's not here, I don't think. But Bogdan, he's in F3. Oscar Villacampa, he's in F3. I commentated quite a few of them in WOR, actually, back in the day. Miltos, he's not here tonight. He's in F3. Harlem's in F3. Kodo is in F4. Kokina Tamas, I'm rubbish at these names, I'm sorry. He's in F4. Dommy's in F5. Sol's in F5. Lapland, also known as Dane, is in F7. Luke's in F8. Scar's in F10. Charlie Moon's in F3. Kin is in no tier in PSGR, but he does race on PC. Same with... I'm trying to find... I'm sure that guy was... somewhere, Jushi. Oh. Yeah, him. He's not in a tier either. So there we go. So those are the people to watch out for. Jonah Martin had a good lap, by the way, in P3. The top two separated by a few 100ths of a second. It's around about 300ths of a second. We don't expect qualifying to be that close. So I think... I've noticed when I was prepping my notes for this chat, because obviously I did it, I was doing it for next week as well to get ahead of the game. I've noticed that qualifying becomes even more important because around turn 1, we can see people going a bit wide. There could be a few accidents there. And not many moves are being made in the S's. We can see moves being made in and to the hairpin. That is around about, I'm just trying to remember the hairpin. It's turn 11. Is where you'll see it at the moment. So, that is what we would expect to watch right now. So, Domi then is on a lap currently. Oh my goodness. Well, that's how you don't do qualifying. And someone blocked Domi on a lap time. Well, I think that will be investigated. I could tell you that front. It was a shame that I went on board with him actually at that point. Because there was one driver going very, very slowly and he didn't move out of the way. Well, the rule is if you're on an out lap or you're in lap, move out of the way. You've got to look in your mirrors. So I believe Jack West is on the lap at the moment. Same for his teammate as well. So we will keep an eye on him. So let's keep an eye on Jack West as he heads towards the S's section. Hardest complex to perfect in Formula 1 because you have to stay level for quite a long time. Past the Ferris wheel into Dunlop. Through into 7th gear, you're going to be passing the two Degners now. And interestingly, he stays in 7th, but on the exit through here, he goes into 4th gear. Now heading towards the hairpin, great overtaking opportunity. And you can dive it up the inside for a really great chance there. He was 3rd gear on entry, 4th on exit. Going up the hill, you're just about to head towards Spoon Curb. Another iconic corner. And I always wonder why it's called Spoon. But I did say it on a stream once, but I completely forgot why. So I'll need to find my notes for that, because I'm sure I've written it somewhere why it's called Spoon Corner. Past 130R then. We've seen some overtakes through there as he heads towards Casio Triangle. He flicks it right to the apex. Left. And then another right again as Oscar Villacampa has retired as well. I think it was in the pit lane as Jack West. Good lap. 125.772, which puts him 2 tenths slower, well, quicker than Moon right now in P2. Where is Moon now? He's going through Dunlop. Let's see if anyone else is going to go on a lap. I like being on PC so I can actually select the drivers without going through all the drivers on controller. It's great. So Luke comes across the line in P8, 6 tenths quicker as well. Yona Martin just come across the line, almost a tenth slower than Jack West. So that was a decent lap for him as well. Still some time I think he can find to get pole position. Fionn sorts himself into P3. It's hard to tell who is it, if it's an Alpine or Williams. I think it's a Williams, and I think it's Ivan. So Ivan is up to the line now. He was 12th before we came across the line, and then he's P11. Then it was, I think, one of the Aston Martins of Louis Welsh. He came across the line in P5. So time to come in thick and fast. Japan is also a track where we can see spots of rain. I think many PSGR races I've commentated on, it's rained. I remember commentating on the Tires Decider on Xbox where it went to countback around Japan. So it's always iconic in terms of, you know, lots of other stuff. So, as a lot of people are just about to go into the pits, there is Day now in the Alpine as he goes up to the line currently. And no, he's going into the pits. My bad. So halfway through qualifying, we'll run you through your order then. So Jack West is on pole with a 125.772. Second is Yona Martins. Third is Fionn McKee. Fourth is Moon. Fifth is Louis Welsh. Sixth is Liam Parnell. And we've got seventh, Oscar Villacampa, who's retired. He's going to start no higher than seventh. And then eighth, Jack Laverty. So it's going to be a quiet moment as we wait for some more drivers to go out on track. And also, it'll be interesting to hear your predictions, because obviously this is a practice league, remember, for Wednesday and Thursday nights. And it also gives everyone an idea of where people are going to be and what challenges people can face around this track. And it also gives me an idea of what possible strategies these drivers can go on. I think, as normal, they're going to start on hards, but the question is when they're going to pit. I will obviously be doing my research whilst this is happening as well, but with a few of my notes, I have a rough idea on how long these tyres can last around there. And it's hard on tyre temps at the moment, and we've got a bit of a lull period as well. So it's a chance to read some people in the chat as well. It's good to see quite a lot of you in there too. We've got Nathan, we've got Big C, Timo. I can never pronounce Odin's name right, but and then we've got Michael Blocks as well, C3 as well, the legend. And we've got Lordy as well and Alfie. So massive shout out to you all. If you do want a shout out, let me know. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I think last time I checked, we were on 399 subscribers. If at least one person subscribes, by the way, we will get 400. So if you haven't already, please do. And I just realised something, by the way. I've told people to subscribe. I haven't even subscribed myself. So I'm pressing the subscribe button. We should be on 400 now. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm probably a traitor for not subbing. I even told myself to press the subscribe button. So there we go. So, the final few moments of qualifying. It's hotting up here in Japan. Remember, last year we saw a red flag that caused quite a bit of controversy. We don't want to talk about the truck. No way. It's something that it's a bit not interesting to talk about. There has been some interesting moments from 17th on the grid back in 2005. Kimi Raikkonen in the McLaren. It was arguably the greatest drive of his career, believe it or not. It resulted in a mix-up grid in qualifying. Raikkonen started 7th. Ralf Schumacher, by the way, led from pole. He was overtaken by Vizzy Kallad 12 laps in. Raikkonen forced his way through the field over a race distance. And then he found himself in a position to challenge the Renault driver in the closing stages. Will we see this man, Scars, challenge some of the guys there as well? We'll have to wait and see. And obviously the sun, very blinding in some corners as well, but it's all right through here through 130R. And everyone is out on track now, obviously apart from the ones that retired. And let me go the off-board shot. Luckily, this game, it doesn't automatically go on board when you go through turn 1, I think. And I always got a bit confused as to, like, why did the game put us on board? But again, we'll have to wait and see. A lot of tracks where it requires quite a bit of downforce, but during 130R you would need low downforce. But ideally around here, I would say medium to high downforce, probably a bit more higher downforce than you would expect, because otherwise it will be harder to get through corners. Definitely high downforce in the wet. So I remember in the last game I had to do that, but it's around about the same here as well. So I believe the first person out on a lap, I'm just trying to see, it might be Fion's teammate, so it could be Jushi. Hold on, yep, he's on a lap. And I think there's also a McLaren as well on a lap time. So let's go on board with Scars, actually, because he's first on a lap, my bad. So Scars then, past Spoon Curve. Just about keeps it together through there as well. You're going to be gaining lots of speed there as he goes past. Around about... I'm trying to see how many miles per hour, but I can't see on the dash, unfortunately. But he's got... Interestingly to know that he's used a lot of ERS. He's got a bit squirmy on exit into the Castillo Triangle. So he goes up to the line, and it's going to be a 127.2 for Scars. And then we got the Alpine, who's just came across the line now. That is, I don't know which Alpine it is, but we will see. We got Juchi comes up to the line, only in 8th fastest, but what could his teammate do? Fionn McKee, who's in F3, number 66. Can he slot his car into pole position? Jonah Martin's can't do that because he's retired in the pit lane. But let's see what Fionn can do. P2 for him, he's improved quite a lot here. We got the other Williams who's coming up to the line. Ivan, the FBR man, P12. Then we got the Red Bull of, I think it's Jack West. Yes, it is Jack West. He does not improve though, even though he currently sits provisional pole. And we got a Alpine of Harlem and Louis Welch coming up to the line. So it is Harlem first. So Harlem up to the line in P15. Louis Welch only in P5. We got Mercedes of Luke. He's coming to the pit lane. AlphaTauri of Jack Laverty. He comes up to the line. He unfortunately has invalidated. So I think it's just Bogdan Moldovan who's came across the line. And he's improved to 5th. So good job on him to improve. So it is Jack West who is on pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix by 4/100ths of a second. I have to say the top 4 quite close. So I think expect that strategy to be, I think, quite close between them. And I wonder if the ones in the middle will try the early undercut strategy. We'll go through your full order in a minute. So this almost loaded there we go. So anyway, Jack West is on pole by 4/100ths of a second. Then we got Fionn McKee. Oh, what? There we go. I pressed the wrong button. Fionn McKee in 2nd. Jonah Martins in 3rd. Liam in 4th. Moon in 5th. Bogdan Moldovan in 6th. Louis Welch in 7th. Oscar Villacampa in 8th. Jucci in 9th. Jack Laverty in 10th. Luke Wellstow in 11th. Ivan Santamaria in 12th. Lapland, also known as Dane in 13th. Domi in 14th. Harlem in 15th. Scars in 16th. Kine in 17th. And Rishan Jacobs. Rishan, the only driver not to set a lap time. Let's see what we can do with P18 on the grid. We only have 18 drivers tonight, but that is not bad for a first race for the PT division. And if you just joined us, welcome along to the first round of International Racing League at our overcast Suzuka. It's 27 laps, 18 corners, 8 to the left and 10 to the right of this 5.807 kilometre circuit at a race distance at 156 kilometres an hour, almost 157 kilometres an hour. Drivers mixing from PSGL, F1, F2. Most of them are from F3. We have quite a few F4 and F5 drivers as well, but we've got one F7, one F8 and one F10 driver. Quite a few people are not here tonight. So that will probably not help them when they do PSGL on Thursday. And And we'll look at the strategy data continued. So will they be able to make the hards last for as long as they can? According to my data, it lasts 19 laps before it gets to puncher territory. But ultimately, I think it's about 6 laps before that. So we are going to keep an eye on the crossover point as this race goes on. And thank you, Lordy, for advertising the stream on Discord. I was wondering what my notification on Discord was for. I thought I did something wrong there. I always worry when I get a Discord notification on stream. Anyway, 5 red lights are on for the first round of International Racing League. And it is go, go, go. And it's Jack West who gets a very good start. And so does Liam Parnell in the other Red Bulls. He tries to go around the outside into turn number 1. Not many people running wide at this time. Yona Martins tried to cover off Liam Parnell as well through the S's section. And he does. He keeps on to 3rd place. And so far, they're all in this train. And doing a great job of that. Jack West already pulling away by 7/10 of a second, which is very, very key. I did say qualifying will be important. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. That was, I think, Scars, Harlem, Dommy, and Dane who's lost it as well. And we got a VSC because of it. There was a lot of end-plate damage as well. And obviously, it will be too early to pit, so it's just a formality at this point. And it just gives me a chance to breathe a little bit, which is why. So looking at the possible strategies today. So Jack West goes on the mediums. He started pole, so if you want to start on the mediums, ideally you want to be near the front, because you could struggle otherwise. Fiona's on hards. Yona Martins on mediums. Liam Parnell's on softs. Harlem is on mediums. Well, there's going to be a few people I think they're going to be diving into the pits and probably going to go onto a set of hards anyway. Has Vishan Jacobs. Vishan Jacobs, by the way, had a very good start. To be fair, he did avoid the carnage, but he's up to 12. And don't forget, he hasn't set a lap time. So his pace is very good so far. We expect to see the soft runners get past the medium runners very quickly, but they're not doing so at the moment. Yona Martins then trying to go up the inside, which he does, as we got Liam trying to go past into turn 1. Couldn't quite do it at the moment. It's going to overheat his tyres a little bit if he does that. And the dirty air may not help him either, but I think that's the consequence as well by getting not the best qualifying session. But this league is for a bit of fun. You will learn a lot from this, like people that may have not done the best laps in qualifying be thinking, right, what do I need to do to make it all count on Thursday? Because there's quite a lot of people that will be racing each other on Thursday as well. Jack West already pulling away a second gap to Yona Martins in front now. Both on the medium tyres, so getting that extra grip. I'm predicting the crossover point will be around about 11-12 laps between the mediums and the hard tyres. So once we get to lap 11, we'll start to see the mediums drop off. So maybe that's when Jack and Yona could go into the pit lane. There comes Liam Parnell just for 130R, and he does get past him. So that was crucial for Liam. So Liam up into the podium places, but now he's got to try and get past Yona and Jack West now in these early stages before he goes into the pits, because it's about a 3-lap earlier crossover point compared to what we'll expect between the mediums and the hards. So he's got to do moves a lot earlier, but not be too aggressive. But he's not aggressive anyway. I usually know him as a very clean driver. As we've got Harlem in the background, not doing very well. They both had to pit, same with Scars. Dommy had to pit too, I believe. Yep, he is pitted. I think everyone from P15 downwards has pretty much got away with this unscathed. So, as Scars got a bit very squirmy down on exit. As certain drivers looking very, very tasty for the battle for P5. So that is Moon and Louis going on to the hairpin now as well. Now, I do remember why I like this track as well, because obviously Damon Hill, my first ever driver I supported growing up, I was watching a documentary around Suzuka. He won his first ever and only one world title, and it was just a great moment. And when Murray said, "Oh, I have to stop because I got a lump in my throat." It just got me emotional, not gonna lie. Obviously not as a kid, but when I watch it back now, it just makes it very, very emotional. As Tommy, by the way, picks up a first 3-second time penalty. And I didn't mention about track limits that much, mainly because it's harder to get track limit warnings around it, unless it's around Dunlop and into the Degners and into Casio Triangle. I think those are the only possible. And also going wide into Spoon too. So those are the only possibilities. Theon looks like he was lining up for a move there against Liam Parnell, but couldn't quite do it. And one issue I found around here when I was doing some ranks is tyre temperatures again. Tyre temperatures on this game is so more difficult. And I just said a sentence that didn't make sense. Tyre temps is more difficult on this game compared to the last game. But at least you can catch the car when you send into a spin. On F122, when you spin, you can't catch the car and it takes you a while to get to the right way. That's what I think anyway. And I'll just keep an eye on their battery because I'm the sole commentator. I will get the telemetry up. I don't usually do that when I'm streaming, but usually the co-com usually is the one who has the telemetry up. And then I just have the basic stuff up, just so it doesn't come off the screen, because I know you want to see the action. But I'm just looking at Fion's ERS, 30%. Liam's ran out. So he's used all of it to try and get past the people on the hards. So now he's got to try and save it, which is easier said than done. Yona Martins is on 5, Jack West is on 14, so they've used up too much. So I wonder if this track is a big problem for ERS as well. We saw that last week in Austria, that the only places you can save is towards turn 3. And if you're in that DRS train, if you like, it's going to be even harder, because you're going to try and do all your best to try and stay behind. But there's only one DRS here, so technically there could be plenty, but there'd be some drivers that don't want to get out of DRS anyway. So it does depend on the pace. Maybe because it's different ability, they might be thinking of something different. We do have Lordy in the chat that's backing Fion for the win, who's currently sitting in 4th right now. Bearing in mind his hards will probably come into the best use later on. He is the leading man on the hard compounder tyres, and 7 tenths behind him is Louis Welsh. Both in the same tier, remember, so we get to see how their ability is in advance to Wednesday. And one thing, obviously, I wish that Cody's would introduce is for commentators to see tyre wear and fuel as well. Usually I found that the fuel isn't a problem around Japan. I think you always put a decent amount in. Sometimes you can put the default in and it works fine. But there's people like in these tiers that like to underfuel. As Fionn gets past Liam. So the way I said the hards could come to its operating window, it may come to its operating window a little bit earlier than we thought. As Louis Welsh just found a bit of time there as Juji gets past Bogdan Moldovan up into 7th. Using the DRS and the toe. So we are seeing the DRS to the full effect, and I think it's mainly down to the drivers who have more of a gap. And you can see the Haas driver really, I think, has the pace compared to Bogdan. And he can close up on Moon. Or maybe the Alfa Romeos could start using this as an opportunity to work together. They don't encourage people to do that if they're not in the same constructor. But if they are in the same constructor, they are allowed to do that. And Louis Welsh now, 1/10 as a yellow flag. That is Harlem, I think. No, it's not Harlem. It is the other Alpine. Where is he? It is Dane, who almost had a moment there. Lost a bit of time to the Ferrari in 14th now. So he's got a mountain to climb. So let's see if we can watch Fionn if he can try and get past into Casio Triangle. Scars with a 3-second time penalty. Look at the speed that he's bringing at the moment. And looks like he's not going to do it on this occasion. He's going to have the DRS heading towards the start finish straight, then past the Ferris wheel. He's going at 170 miles per hour, moves out the race, we could not overtake that as we got a safety car. Now, Moon must have binned it in the pit lane. Or near the pit lane. So, it will be nice to get a little bit of a replay of that. Now, safety car windows is something to keep an eye on. I think we are approaching the safety car window now, where if you started on softs or mediums, you can go on to hards. So if you're Jack West, Yona Martins, Liam, Dommy, Scars, Harlem, you can go on hards now, and it can get to the end with a bit of a push, but they could be in punch territory at the end. But if you're on the hard, you could be screwed because it's way too early, I think, to go on from hards to medium tires. I think the window, actually, it may be, I think, in a few laps' time, as Yona Martins has left the session. Now, luckily, I think he should be able to rejoin. Hopefully, he's got a spare invite. Because even though I have him, I'm the one streaming, and I can't really go on Steam to do that. So for those of you that don't know what International Racing League is, it mainly races on PC, no PS. Quite a lot of nights, to be fair. The last stream was a day ago, and they raced around Spain, and then they raced around Miami 2 weeks ago. No, a week ago, then they went race at Qatar round 3, China round 2, and Austria round 1. So that was their calendar. Now, pit stops. Louis is in. Jack West, I can see why he's coming as well. The only ones that have stayed out is Fionn McKee, Bogdan Alderman, Oscar Villacampa, and Luke. Luckily, Yona Martins has joined. So he's back in the session, and luckily he's on the safety car anyway. So I'm glad that he's got more of a better opportunity now. So, Fionn is leading, but he's not the net race leader. Your net race leader is Louis Welsh. Actually, no, it's not Louis Welsh, it's Jack West. But it is Louis Welsh in second. So, Louis Welsh must have jumped quite a few people. Actually, yes, he has, because obviously there's a few drivers who haven't pitted yet. We got to keep an eye on to see if he could reach puncher territory. However, Japan is... I always find Japan to be less of an issue in terms of tyre wear anyway, but I think it's just, again, more of a tyre temperature. So let us know in chat, who do you think's going to play the strategy right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that are pitting onto mediums. I think Yona Martins' AI is pitted on soft, which is not ideal. Or maybe, unless he thought about doing that strategy themselves. If he has thought about doing the strategy himself, then, well, I wish him the best of luck. Or maybe Yona thinks there could be another safety car, and he can put on another set of softs in the end. But I doubt he's got a fresh set of softs left, unless he saved a set of softs in qualifying. Most people, I think, wouldn't have saved a set of softs and would have used 3 sets of softs anyway. But you never know. Anything could happen in Formula 1. And whilst we wait for the safety car to come in this lap, if you haven't already, make sure you leave a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button. And we are on 402 subscribers, so thank you so much to the ones who are supporting the channel. The PCF1 tier will be streamed every Tuesday night as a precursor to PSGL on Thursday. So Tuesday night at 7 PM. I'm used to saying 8 PM, but it's not, at 7 PM. I'm covering this round, round number 2, and then round number 3. After that, I'm not available. But hopefully, who knows, there may be someone watching and be like, hey, I want to commentate on this. if obviously they have a capable PC of streaming it, then yeah, speak to the league and see if you can commentate. Or you could stream from round 4 onwards and maybe join me for round 2 or 3 or something. That would be pretty cool. Safety car should be in this lap. And it is the Aston Martin safety car. Now, I've got a bit of a debate here that I usually don't like to bring in these leagues, but do any of you use the safety car supercars in the F1 games? Well, when it first became a thing, I used to have it run a lot, but I don't tend to run it anymore because A, I'm not good, and B, usually if I want to run supercars, I would go on like ATC or iRacing or something like that. But again, I'm not good at that anyway. But anyway, safety car is in at this lap. So, Theon becomes the Burt Mylander in this situation. Let's see if he can pull away. As soon as he floors it, he's got to think about moving, and he moves. He moves, and that's a really great restart from Fionn McKee, whereas Bogdan Moldovan been caught napping a little bit, but look at Jack West. Jack West on the fresher rubber to his right-hand side through turn number 1. Luke covers off to the inside. But Jack was like, no, you're not having that position. P4 is mine. So he still gets the race lead, but he's 4th overall currently. Louis Welsh getting past Luke as well. Oh, we got some side-by-side action between Juji and Luke, and then Jack West and Oscar Villacampa. There's battles going everywhere at the moment. Past the first Degner, into Degner 2. There's going to be people on a mixture of strategies at the moment. Yellow flag, that's Domi out of the race. Oh my God. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, we have got another safety car in IRL. I think Fionn and Bogdan Moldovan is probably counting their lucky stars that there's another one, because they can go on mediums now to the end with a push. With a push. If I was them, I would pit. I know you would probably go to the lose a bit of trap position anyway. Maybe Jack West could come in and go on a 7 mediums, but he does not want to lose trap position. It's just hard. It's a hard decision to be in. As Jack West decides to stay out on his hard, well, I'm not really that surprised, but what I am surprised is Fionn has decided I want to be different to the normal person and stay out. Maybe he's going to go for a soft strategy, or maybe another safety car. Is he pushing his luck too much? Because everyone else has done at least one pit stop. He is going to be at a huge disadvantage. So anyone that's running the Haas strategy right now, then I don't know what they're doing, because I think he should have pitted and gone to a 7 mediums personally, because that's what everyone else has done who had the option to pit. Louis pitted for a fresh air mediums. Bogdan, Oscar. There were some people that had 2 or 3 laps on the mediums, but then decided, you know what, the mediums that I'm on won't get to the end. So quite a few people playing it safe, and then later on they've got some scrum mediums to use at the end if they wanted to. But they don't want to do any more stops than intended. And let's just say it's the first time I'm streaming on the PC version of the game, and it's gone a lot better than I expected, actually. I was a bit worried, because usually I don't stream the PC edition of the game. Usually someone else does it for me. But it's all right, I think, now. So for any one-off situations, that could come in handy. how he's saying has tried Ferrari strategies. Maybe. And Laura Mikis, by the way, is leaving Ferrari to go to AlphaTauri and in real life. And I feel bad. I literally feel bad at that point for AlphaTauri. But speaking of silly season, I don't think... We're not going to get much of a silly season as talking of silly. Well, not silly, but you know what I mean. Scars comes in to the pits for probably another 7 million now. He has some fresh in his pocket. Yes, he does. Very smart move from him. But not much of a silly season is going to happen because my prediction, I know it's going to be a boring prediction and you can slate me in the comments if you want. I think the lineup for this year is pretty much going to be the same as it is. Perez got a contract to, I think, 24, 25, I think, end of 24. So Perez, I think, is tied to Red Bull, but you never know. Red Bull could buy Perez out and Perez will lose his seat or whatever. And if that's the case, McLaren could buy... not McLaren. AlphaTauri could buy Ricciardo out and then just move him to Red Bull. That's my personal opinion anyway. So, not really a surprise. It didn't take too long for the safety car to catch up to everybody. Safety car should be in this lap. Please. Please, I swear to God, I hope we don't get any more safety cars. Because if we do, I'm going to be... Well, I'm not going to scream, but I'm just going to be like... I think after this, I might just like put my head on a pillow and something and say, why were they safety cars? The safety car is in this lap and it is starting to get a bit hotter in the UK at the moment. That's why I did try to have the fan on. However, me having the fan on is just probably going to make things worse. But anyway, safety car is in. Fiona on 11 lap old hards versus Jack West 4 lap old hards. Surely it's going to be advantage Jack West at this point. They say to me, RS. Jack's going to get the better traction. He's got the better grip as well. And there he goes. He goes past Fionn McKee. But Fionn is not going to give this up easy around the outside. But there we go. Jack up into the lead of this Grand Prix. Liam Parnell trying to do the same thing. But he's past the crucial overtaking spot in towards turn number 1. But the S's. So many people could make a mistake through there as well. As everyone else doing. Bourdain Mordeman in P10. Looking good on the back of Harlan. Where has Harlan come on all of a sudden? Don't forget, Harlan and Dane pitted, I think, quite early on. Because they did have a change in front wing. As Bourdain Mordeman trying to go into the hairpin. And there he goes. Oh, someone spun. That's Richard Jacobs. And that was almost an unsafe rejoin. He's right on the middle of this. And please, please don't make it free wide. Louis Welsh is on this as well. As he tries to make his way up the order, heading towards Spoon Curve. As, yep, there goes Louis Welsh. It's off the circuit. And we got Haas versus McLaren versus Aston Martin. But Liam Parnell does get past Fionn McKee. And he's up into second spot. So we do have a Red Bull 1-2 currently. And a Haas in third. Evan in fourth. Ivan doing very well to hold on to his position as Louis Welsh gets past Harlem. As all someone was going side by side there. Was that Luke? I think that might have been Luke actually, unless it's one of the Ferraris. No, it could be one of the Ferraris actually, but on the outside, 3-2 in towards there. Oh, he's hit the wall! He's hit the wall and Kian is out of the race and safety car again. We've got a safety car. I can see the yellow dot as well, and I saw the board as well. Literally, we've had 3 safety cars already. 3. I don't commentate on PC, usually. But I am praying for any of the PC commentators that are watching this stream right now, whether it's live or post-event, you're going to hope that there's no safety cars in your tier to that extreme, because we've had 3 so far. If you could beat that, oh God, that's what I like to say. And imagine what it's going to be like in PCF1 tomorrow if we get a similar amount of safety cars. And I don't think we've hit the crossover period for the softs yet either, so I think it'll be too early for people to go on the softs anyway. But whilst the safety car is out, it's going to give me a good chance to get myself a little bit of a drink to hydrate, ready for the final half of this race. We've done 15 laps, not long to go now. So welcome back to International Racing League. This is round number 1, the first edition of the PC division. And it's the top tier of drivers. Drivers ranging from PSGL F2 to PSGL F10, no assists. My name is Jess, and I'll be taking you through this round as I try and get my GT Mega chair to get in position. Thank you. So I'm going to take you through the next 3 rounds. Well, the first 3 rounds of this championship. So far, we've had 3 retirements and 3 safety cars. Not sure what happened to Moon. I think it was before the pit lane line. Kyan, however, binned it. I think Kai binned it at a similar place to what we saw John Lacey do in 96. Don't ask me how I knew that, because obviously I'm a Damon Hill fanboy, let's just say. So I'm keeping telemetry on at this time being, and now it just gives me a great idea to have a look at some facts about this track a bit more, because I have come prepared. So this circuit has changed very little over the past 30 years. There was a chicane added in 1983 before Formula 1 arrived, so cars down to the final corner. So it used to be a very long straight. Additional safety barriers were also added around the track for more general safety standards. The Dender curve was also made into 2 corners instead of 1 long bend at this time as well. And the track was changed again in the new millennium, with the chicane and the 130R being slightly reprofiled in 2002, before more changes moved to the chicane close to 130R the following year. And then in 2006, it was announced the Japanese Grand Prix will be posted in Fuji back in 2007 and 8. And then it was back to Suzuka for future seasons, as well as Fuji for a little bit. It was scheduled to run at Fuji, believe it or not, back in 2010. However, Toyota went pretty much into a global economic slump and struggled then. And then the Suzuka circuit closed for a year, so I don't think that there was no Japanese Grand Prix there. And then after that, it's been remained in the calendar every year since 2009, apart from 2020 and 2021 due to the pandemic. And you can't believe that the pandemic has been pretty much 3 years ago now. Well, it started. Crazy. Anyway, safety car in. And I pray to God, hopefully, last safety car that we will see from these drivers. So here we go then. Here comes Jack West. Jack West leads the field away. Once again, controlling the restart to perfection. Let's see who's also looking good on the restart. Look at that. We got, I think, one of the AlphaTauris fighting in the background. No, it's not. I think it might be a Haas, but it was. I saw a McLaren fighting. No, it was Scars and Vion, actually. Scars and Vion were going side by side there, but Vion had to back off, so Scars stayed in 11th. Scars does have a time penalty, though, so he's got to bear that in mind. And Scars got a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flag earlier on as well, so not ideal there. But this is looking like the closest battle on track. Harlan Marquis also trying to get a sniff as well. He's got Rishan Jacobs for company, who's in at P13. Rishan is on the softs, and me debating on whether it's going to get to the end is another matter. Scars trying to defend from Fionn McKee, trying to go around the outside. Oh, they made a bit of contact, and they spun. Scars spun, and he hits the brake marker board as well. So that is not the most ideal of situations to be in for Scars. As Bodan Moldovan has got past Lapland up into 6th place, so nicely done for the Casio Triangle. In that lovely Alfa Romeo livery, Fionn gets a 3-second time penalty, so we're starting to see more time penalties coming to fruition. How is Louis Welsh looking on the back of Lapland? Nicely done. So Louis Welsh up a position. Let's look, by the way, at position changes, because we haven't really gone through position changes. So Liam's up 2. Ivan has had a really good race so far, up 9. Jack Laverty is up 6. Lapland is up 5. Luke is up 1. Trying to find him. So we got Rishan and Vion going for a nice battle as well. Rishan gets past, but oh no! Well, those two made contact. Rishan unfortunately had a reset to track, which is something you do not, and I repeat, you do not do at PSGL. So do not reset to track. It's not allowed, because if you do it in this league, you're probably more tempted to do it in PSGL as well. But that looks not good at all there. Meanwhile, battle for the lead between the two Red Bulls. It's like Max Verstappen versus Perez, but it is Jack West versus Liam Parnell. Both in Parnell racing. We've got the young talent versus the big boss. Who's going to come out on top here? Here comes Parnell up to the right-hand side in towards turn number 1. He used a bit of battery as well to get past, and a lovely move from him, as I don't know why I went to a different shot. I must have pressed F7 instead of F6 for a minute there, but anyway, Liam is up into the lead. They're both on hard tyres. One driver to keep an eye on, I have to say, who's on newer tyres and on newer mediums, is Bogdan Moldovan and Louis. So anyone that's on 8-lap mediums, pretty much keep an eye on for the rest of this race, because we do not have long to go until certain things can happen. Yeah, Sickle, that looked very interesting indeed. I wonder what would happen if it happened at PSGL. Probably, I think, quite a hefty penalty. Quite a few penalty points as well, but again, it's not up to me. It's up to the stewards. So this time, Jack West is going to have the double dose of the DRS now. He's on 60%. Liam Parnell's on 2. Let's just say they're going to have trouble on Thursday with ERS management if they keep this up. So my advice, if you're racing on Thursday, by the way, manage your ERS. Manager ERS. I know it's easier said than done, so I don't do that anyway in Japan. But, you know, we're seeing side-by-side action. Joanna Martin's getting past Jack Laverty up into P4. And Ivan's dropped into 7th place with Bogdan Moldovan and Louis Welch getting past him as well. Louis Welch to the right-hand side, trying to get past the Alfa Romeo in towards the Estes. And Louis Welch does it with ease right now. Louis Welch is up into 5th place. And this is a great battle between them. And look at this person in the train, Oscar Villacampa. Louis can concentrate about pulling away. And Oscar Villacampa gets past Ivan now, up into... Oh, what's happened to him? Ivan's been passed by Luke now as well. So Ivan has dropped it down into 9th spot. I swear, every time I talk good about a driver, they spin, which is not the ideal situation in the world. Or they drop position, usually. That is usually the time where I do commentate on my own anyway. And I'd like to apologise about the audio bug thing. It is the same on PS as well. It's very annoying as well. We got a battle for the lead as Jack West gets past into 130 TR. But Jack could be in danger because Liam, sorry, not Louis. Liam could get the DRS here. So let's go on board with Liam once again. Is he going to be close enough this time? I don't think he's that close enough, but you never know. They're both running out of birds completely. They're going to lose so much power and energy. As Liam stays ahead of Jonah, but stays behind Jack West. So Jack West holding his nerve at the moment. He's got 7 laps to pretty much keep it. And yeah, please fix the audio bug, because it's it always happens towards like the end of the race, I usually find. So I try to avoid going on board, if I can, for those final few laps. It's just a bit frustrating. But you got to do what you got to do. That was one of the main reasons why I got so put off commentating on PC last season. Because of the audio bug. Because it was more of a prominent thing than PlayStation. But now it's the same on both platforms. I just have to learn to live with right now. And I think this is a track also where trail braking can be very, very crucial. It's in particular going through that hairpin. Here comes Juji up into 11th past Harlem. So I don't know what's happening with Harlem right now, but he is struggling, I think, a little bit for pace currently compared to everybody else. But he doesn't have long to make this count. We're about to start lap 23. Actually, no, it's lap 22. Liam to the right-hand side. Comfortably done from the Red Bull veteran. Up into the lead. Jack in second. What can Yona do now? I wonder if Yona has saved a bit of energy up his sleeve to challenge the Red Bull drivers very, very soon. Yona's looking very good around this track. And I wonder if he knows something that we don't. Jack Laverty, probably I think the stars so far, but my question is, for the AlphaTauri driver, will he get those medium tyres to the end of this Grand Prix? To be honest, I doubt it. I doubt it at this point, but you never know. I've seen strange things happen. And I always sometimes base it on my own experiences, but we know with these type of drivers, their time management tends to be a lot better than me, and time management tends to be a lot better than me. So there we go. So all I look for is data and previous races to call on. So Jack West gets another slice of the cherry. Maybe not, because look who's right on the back of him. Jack West could be in danger of losing out on DRS to his teammate. Here comes Yona Martins then. Is he going to go to the inside? He's going to go maybe to the left? No, he thought about it. He was like, maybe. But he realised he's still got quite a few laps to go in order to make the move work. And Yona's got plenty of battery as well to use up, so I have to say, Yona's doing a great job on that front. Jack West has got 24. Liam's got the least out of everybody else. Louis Welsh, by the way, Bogdan Mold. Actually, no, it was Bogdan Moldovan I was riding on board with. Bogdan is got, I think, used the least ERS because he's on 52. So watch out for him towards the end of the race. And he's got more of a tyre life as well. There was a few people asking earlier, oh, how long do the medium tyres last? And the medium tyres last only 16 laps before they head to puncture territory. But we've been on the safety car, so keep an eye on Jack. I'm just a bit worried that he did pit too early, but he wasn't probably predicting a safety car, so that's probably why, and that's probably the outcome. Oh, Louis Welsh! Louis Welsh almost went for a dive bomb into the Casio triangle there. There's also Yuji trying to get past Ivan, almost got a bit squirmy on exit there. And there comes Harlem as well, who's looking to redeem himself, heading towards the start-finish straight. Bearing in mind, they lose about only 2 tenths between the hards and the mediums, so this could get down to track position for these guys. And I think we're starting to see the tyres be more viable now as we've got 4 laps to go this one. Driving standards have been okay. There has been some moments where it's been a bit questionable, but there has been some really good moves. And I wonder if they're going to replicate that on Thursday. Jack Laverty almost had another look on Yona Martin, so even though his tyre is starting to wear off, maybe he saved a little bit more in the tank for that end stint. So, shame we can't get a poll up because we don't have monetization, but I'd like to know in the chat who's going to win. I think anyone in the top 8 could win this race. And to be honest, I'm not even kidding. Anyone in the top 8 could win this race. And oh, Yona Martin is about 1/10 as well behind Jack West. And I think he's going to be on the upper hand right now. But the question is, does he have the speed of dreams to do so, to carry out the move? Yona Martin has only got 3 more chances to do so. The first chance, unfortunately, he failed there. But he's got a couple more, so it's not over. Jack West, I think I won't be surprised if Jack West is playing it tactically here, as is a few other drivers as well at these final stages. We've had 3 retirements so far, and these drivers are hoping they don't make it the 4th retirement. As Harlem gets past the Hatter once again. Oh, no! The Williams and the Alpine made contact. Ivan got a bit very squirmy on exit there through the hairpin. And these will be the slowest 2 laps of their lives here as we head towards the closing stages. Quite a lot of support in the chat for Liam. Will he be able to hold on and take the win for the first round of IRL PC Season 1? We will see. 2 more laps to go. 4 tenths is the gap. Jack West has got to make it count, but he does know that Yona Martin is catching up too. Oh, a bit of weaving in the background from the AlphaTauri of Jack Laverty. If Jack makes his tyres last to the end, then fair play. But bearing in mind there were 2 safety cars, so we can make that last. And Yuji got another time penalty, but he is past Harlem. I wonder if he exceeded track limits to potentially do that. I don't know. It was a tough call there. Obviously, I didn't see it. Passing Dunlop into the penultimate time. Rishan Jacobs past Fionn McKee up to 13th. Rishan, who I'm surprised he hasn't got a puncher currently. Unless he's got one now, which I hope he doesn't. Oh, that was a bit questionable driving there, but Let's hope it's a bit cleaner now towards the end of this race. So, heading towards Spoon Curve. The top three have a really good shot, but if any of those top three make a mistake, the likes of Jack Laverty, Louis Welsh could be in it and score some decent points in this. Bearing in mind, not everyone in PSGO is racing tonight, so the result they get tonight may not necessarily mean they'll get the result on Thursday. So they've got to be wary of that. Lapland gets past Yuchi up into 9th. Again, a bit squirmy, but let's watch the battle for the lead. Here comes Jack West. Jack West takes the lead, and Yona Martins almost got Liam there, but he did not there. I think Jack West timed that strategy to perfection there. But there's still room for Liam to potentially get past Jack out in 130R, which I have seen done before. And I think this is the point in the race where we start to see a lot of drivers, I think, taking a lot more risks. And I think that's what Liam's going to do to potentially get the race win. As Yona Martins has been under pressure by Jack Laverty on less durable rubber. And bearing in mind, there's certain drivers that are struggling for fuel. Yona Martins gets past, but oh, look at this. It's a challenge from Jack Laverty to the inside, going up the hill through Spoon towards the final time. And it's like a traffic jam on the M25, but they are going for it up the hill. Liam Parnell has lost a bit of ground to his teammate Jack West, but we still got this midfield battle to watch. Jack pass into 130R. Beautiful stuff. And we also can see Louis Welsh trying to get past as well. Let's quickly go on board with Jack West. He wins the first round in PC. And oh, look at this. All of them are so close. So it was Jack first, Liam second, Jack Laverty third, Bogdan, by the way, in 4th. Brilliant result for him. Looking forward to seeing what he can do on Thursday. Oscar Villacampa in 5th. Luke Wellstow in 6th. Louis Welsh in 8th. Yona Martins 8th. Dade in 9th. And Harlem in 10th. So we've got Alpine 9-10 now. And we are just waiting for Fionn and Wishan Jacobs to cross the line. But brilliant result from Jack West, and I think a masterclass from our top two there. Did not put a foot wrong. Jack West did put the car in pole position, and if you thought it was an easy lights to flag victory, it definitely wasn't. But we will get your podium celebrations if the game decides to load on me. Thank you. There we go. Eventually got there. So we've got a 4 Red Bull podiums. We've got 2 Red Bulls and 1 AlphaTauri. According to the game, Luke gets driver of the day. But let us know in chat who you think is your driver of the day. Who has impressed you throughout this one. Only time will tell. And will Jack West, if he gets called to race on Thursday, will he be able to repeat in PCF2 exactly the same he did tonight? It's a good warm-up for him. Nice practice ground for him too. So, let's run through your order then. Jack West wins from Liam Parnell 2nd, Jack Laverty 3rd, Bogdan Moldovan in 4th, Oscar Villacampa 5th, Luke Wellstow in 6th, Louis Welsh 7th, Yona Martins 8th, Lapland in 9th, and Harlem rounds up your top 10. And then there is the rest of your order. We've got 3 retirements, Klein, Domi, and Moon. Or is it Domi? One of the 2. I'm always an idiot for pronouncing things wrong anyway. But next week at 8 PM UK time, if I get the calendar up, there we go. We're going to the same track as PSG, which is, I believe it's Imola. Yes, it is Imola. Round number 7 on the 23rd of August. No, not 23rd of August, 22nd. Yeah, 22nd of August, Tuesday at 7 PM. make sure you join us. It's been a pleasure to cover the PC division. Thank you to the guys over at IRL for giving me the chance to cover these 3 races. 1 down, 2 more to go, and I really enjoyed that one. I think Imola could provide a little bit more overtake, so I'm looking forward to that. Tamarello is going to be interesting, because I think that's where we see quite a few instances there. Villeneuve as well. Tosa, people can go around the outside. Piratella. It's just such an iconic track as well, which is going to be very, very exciting. So, I've been Jessica Ball, and we hope you enjoyed it. We will see you next week for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. You can catch these guys in action at PSGR over the next few days. PCF1 tomorrow at 7 PM and on Thursday at 7 PM and 8 PM for all the PC tiers between F2 and F6. So check them out if you want to see how well they do. And for these next few days, some of them would have been like, what could have been this one? And they will be thinking of ways to improve. Maybe some setup changes, or maybe they're just happy the way they are, but they can't afford to become complacent. Thank you for listening. See you next week. I forgot to change the stuff on the stream ending bit, by the way, because I needed to get rid of my Discord and my YouTube or whatever. But follow the league on Twitter. I retweet their tweets all the time. Also follow me on Twitter at JessGave95. And yeah, have a good evening, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye.